Hello, today we're going to take a look at the FLM CP30-S4 Mark II tripod to see how it'll work for your landscape photography. We're going to take a closer look at this CP30-S4 Mark II tripod from FLM. We're going to dive into some of its more specific specs, sort of where it fits in this particular product line, how to decipher their product numbers, and then we're going to talk about why I chose this tripod, and after I've used it for a while, what I think of this tripod. So FLM makes several different tripods in their product line, and it's pretty easy once you learn how to decipher their product ID to sort of know what you're getting into. So let's take a look at this CP30-S4 Mark II, and we'll talk about what each one means, so when you're looking at them, you can sort of make more sense of their product IDs. And then we'll talk about the specific specs of this tripod. So CP means it's a carbon fiber. This FLM uses 10-layer carbon fiber, very sturdy, very lightweight, very quality material, very quality legs on this. 30 refers to the diameter of the legs. So these are 30 millimeter in diameter. They make a CP 22 through 38. So a 22 would be 22 millimeter legs, 38 would be 38 millimeter legs. And of course, the diameter is going to impact how much weight it can hold as far as, you know, at the top, as well as the weight of the tripod itself, and then just general overall bulkiness, which if you're trying to make decisions based on travel, weight, things like that, those are things that might be important to you. The S4, they have a small, medium, and large legs. The S is for short, still not that short, it's in here. 4 sections in the leg. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 leg sections, what the 4 stands for. And then the Mark II it's the second version of this tripod. They've made just a couple of improvements. They switched these black aluminum twist locks instead of the silver. They changed a little bit how the leg mechanism up here works. Overall, good improvements, and it's the version that I went with. So diving into the specific specs of this model of tripod, CP is carbon fiber, so it's using the 10-layer carbon fiber, which is common across that line. It has the 30 millimeter diameter tubes, and it can reach a height of 53.4 inches tall, and it can get all the way down to 3.6 inches in height from the ground. Of course, that's without the ball head. Once you put a ball head on, that's going to raise your camera level a bit. So if you're really concerned about height, you want to watch that height of the ball head you put on here. But the base up here, 3.6 inches. Tripod only weighs 2.8 pounds, which is very light. Folds down nice and small. Its folded length is actually 18.9 inches, which is super awesome. Folds down nice and small like that. And it has a load capacity of 44 pounds. It does have a bubble level at the top, so you can help tell if things are even and equal. Makes it a nice little feature for that. It uses a combination cork platform, cork and rubber up here at the top as well. And what that does is it helps reduce any kind of vibration, provides a little bit of dampening. The rubber sort of mixed in with it helps give it some additional durability over what a traditional standard cork would be. All right, talked about the twist locks. These are aluminum twist locks. I like twist locks. I think they're awesome. Like I said, I can grip all 3, one swift turn, get all my legs out, super fast to go to full height. If I only want to do 2, then I can choose which 2. I can just do the bottom ones, or if I want the sturdier piece up top so I don't have to extend, it makes it super easy out in the field to adjust and change, which I find very useful and easy to make those adjustments. And this tripod does not have a center column. This is actually my first tripod that I've not had a center column. So far, I'm liking it. We're gonna dive into tripods with center columns and without center columns in a future video. But I do think if you're going with a tripod without a center column, being able to make quick, minute adjustments with these twist locks is important, because you're not gonna be able to make those little micro adjustments in your camera height quite as easy as you would with a center column. So, you know, I think that's important. And finally, you know, we've got this in the traditional configuration up here with the legs out. There's a couple ways to make these legs go out further. Like I said, it has a 3.6 inch, you know, height for this. So obviously these legs come out more. You can either pull this lever. So you can either pull that lever right there out and then bring it all the way up. And this is what I like, it ratchets. So now it's up, and if I want to bring it down, I don't have to touch that again. It ratchets into place. So look at that, you can pull, bring it all the way up, locks into place, but if I want that leg angle different, bring it down and it ratchets into place. Super cool. And you can also, if you're wearing gloves or something like that, sometimes it can be just a little tricky to grab that. So you can push on it from behind with just your thumb or finger. I actually find myself doing that almost as often as just pulling it, because it's just easy to reach behind and push. Again, bring it up, ratchets into place, first spot, traditional spot, and then of course closed. So super easy to use. That's how it gets it tight down so low, is gets that. So like I said, I really like the ratcheting mechanism on it. We'll need to get some more time on it to make sure that ratcheting mechanism stays tight and everything like that. But so far it's been really great. So I find this tripod super easy to put up and take down. And then finally, of course, like most tripods, it comes with the rubber feet on the bottom. You can take that out and put in spikes if you want. I tend to use the rubber feet in a lot of places, so this is fine with me. But yeah, you can swap these out for spikes should you want to. So the FLM products are engineered in Germany. However, with the Mark II series, they did move their manufacturing over to China under the direction of the German engineers. And from what I can tell, the build quality is still excellent, no problems, no concerns. They still give it a 10-year warranty, so they're pretty confident in the product, even with their manufacturing moves. I don't see that as being a problem. But the set of legs is $440 in retail, so not too bad of a price for a nice set of tripods. So let's talk about why I picked out this particular tripod. One, first, both just FLM, and two, this particular model from the FLM line. I have been using a Faisal tripod, predominantly bought for studio work, but then doubled as a landscape photography tripod. And before I started, this YouTube channel and things like that, the weight and bulkiness of that Faisal tripod really wasn't much of a concern. But as I started going out in the field and needing to bring video equipment and things like that, I suddenly became more concerned with the weight on my pack and trying to make sure I had a sturdy tripod, but was still something fully functional and a little lighter weight. Also had some airplane travel coming up and wanted to have a good tripod to be able to travel with. So that's what got me on the hunt for a new tripod. Did a lot of research, watched a lot of YouTube videos, read a lot of articles, different review sites, and came across the FLM tripod that popped up in a couple people's channels that I respect. And so I decided to take a closer look at their tripods. The price was good. The reviews were good, good stability, nice and light, seemed to be well engineered. The Mark II version was getting good reviews. So I decided to try this tripod out. The key pieces being its weight, coming in at 2.8 pounds. That was nice and light. Obviously a ball head's gonna add a little more weight to that, but it was significantly less than my Faisal tripod. I also liked that it folded up to a nice small 18.9 inches. This makes it super easy to fit in the pocket on my pack. And when it was going to come to traveling on the plane, it also would not draw a lot of attention when it's strapped to the outside of my pack. One of the possible cons that I could see was its height. And I was a little concerned. I did a lot of studying on that because, like I mentioned, this is an S4, which has the shorter legs. They do make one with slightly longer legs, but then that would have impacted my ability to fit it on the pack, nice and small, which is what, like, again, weight and stuff while still maintaining sturdiness was important to me. So height was a little bit of concern. So let's take just a second and let's pop this thing up to its full height, because I have not had a problem with that. Again, no center column, which was a little new to me, but so the height is right up to here. To some, that might be a little short. I did not find a problem with that. By the time I put my ball head on it, the ball head I use brings it up another 4 inches, so it puts it right about here. And I don't shoot a lot above that. Even with my center column tripods, I never went super high. Frankly, I think the camera gets pretty unstable up there unless you're carrying around a really big tripod. So the height has not been an issue. What I'm a lot of times concerned about is how low can I get? And I think you can get some interesting compositions that way. And because this could go down to the 3.6 inches or so low, again, without the ball head, I found that very attractive and would be a feature I use more than the height. So that is one of the reasons I was attracted to something without a center column, because then I wouldn't have to be removing it or anything like that to get that low, or do the trick of flip the center column and hang your camera upside down. So like I said, I think the height is fine. I'm about 5'11", so this is not a problem. If you want really tall camera height, you may want to look into the one with the slightly longer legs or one of their larger models. But for me, this was not a problem. So those are the reasons why I tended towards this tripod. It hit a lot of the marks I was looking for and something that was sturdy. lightweight, collapse small, both for being carried on a pack as well as traveling across country with it. And since I've purchased it, I've had lots of opportunities to use it locally. It's been very good locally, and I did recently fly to the Southwest back in December. Flew with this tripod. It was my main tripod for my main landscape photography portion of my trip, and it traveled just fine. It was lightweight, fit on my pack just fine, no problems with TSA getting through security checkpoints or anything with it. So what are my initial thoughts on the FLM tripod? So far, after my usage of it, I think it's been a great little tripod for me. It's been sturdy, flexible, easy to set up, easy to take down. The twist lock legs make it easy to make micro adjustments to the height, which was a little bit of a concern of mine moving to a tripod with no center column, but it really hasn't been that big of a deal. And I think it's worth the trade-off, especially to make it easy to get low without a bunch of center column tricks and things like that. I do predominantly use a Nikon mirrorless system on this, a Z6 II. So I'm not putting the heaviest loads on here, but I do have the Z6 II and a 70-200 f2.8 that I put on, and this tripod has not been a problem with holding that load at all. A lot of times I'm actually using a slightly lighter combination of lenses, but on those times when I use the big 70-200 2.8 works great. So yeah, I think it's a great tripod and well worth taking a look at. If you're a photographer that's looking for something that's sturdy, transportable, reasonably lightweight, the FLM product line is worth taking a look at. There's several different models, so if you did want a little bit of extra height or felt like you need a little bit more load capacity up here, they have several models within their line that's either bigger or smaller than this CP30. So while this one seems to work just fine for me and my requirements, it's well worth taking a look at their line if you think there's just one spec that's slightly off, and if they'd fixed that, it'd be better. They might already have that. If you found this review helpful, please hit that like button. And if you want to see future gear reviews, behind the scenes, and other thoughts on landscape photography topics, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future content from me. And thank you for watching.